Godspeed, gentlemen.
May the pig god have mercy on your soul.
Blood for the pig god.
Pig for the pig god?
Pig for the pig god.
Let's go. Mox is for the MoxStars. Welcome. We are doing it. We're here. It's the #1 podcast in the entire universe. I checked the numbers. #1 in the universe podcast. We're ranked #1. I don't know what the metrics are, but that's us. The MoxStars podcast.
I think there's a few filters on there, but
Yeah.
it's definitely true.
No, definitely within some categories.
Yeah, 100%.
We can get there. #1 podcast in the universe. We talk about Magic the Gathering. I'm here with Jordan
Yo.
and Evan.
Number one,
and I'm number 2 or 3 or 4
I was
or
like,
5.
how is he going to play this out?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm Chris, and we're somewhere here, and we're ranking each other today. Yeah, check out our link tree below. Like, subscribe. If you leave a comment, you may even win a sticker, a MoxStar sticker.
You really should. The sticker is just, you know, like when the lottery every week when it doesn't get won, it's just like the compounding excitement. You guys would not believe how many weeks we've gone without getting the sticker out. So I swear to God.
it's not even without getting a sticker out. It's the consecutive weeks without getting a single comment on the
That's why we haven't gotten a sticker out, because the first person that comments gets a sticker. So
That sticker is hot. It's a Chase variant.
Well,
for sure. You're going to want one.
I keep going on there on the MoxStars like profile, like our and I keep commenting first.
Maybe people think that somebody won the sticker because you're all saying that you're first.
all my shit's covered.
They're like, oh, God damn it, I was so close. And then Evan Kunai, whoever that is.
Oh, yep. All my stuff's covered in MoxStars.
Are you mailing yourself stickers now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mailing them to the deli so I know where to get them.
Nice.
All right, let's get on track. What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about Magic the Gathering. We're talking about stickers.
Oh my God.
So, quick recap.
Yeah, just in case you're just tuning in, we're talking about stickers on this podcast. But first, we're talking about vintage gaming a little bit. Just you guys have been getting deep into some Pokemon on some legacy systems.
Yeah, just a little like off-meta topic. We're calling this off-meta right here because that's what we like to brew.
Off meta, but not jank.
Off-meta, but not jank. Exactly right. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Evan and I just been, I don't know, tripping on some retro nostalgia, you could say.
Yeah, Jordan sparked this whole thing. Like, he went out and he'd been talking about getting...
I don't know what got me into it initially.
Yeah, it might have been just something on Instagram, but it was... Just one day you came back and you're like, dude, guess what I found at the Pink Gorilla? And I was like, what? And he has like this NES special edition SP. And so
Couldn't believe I found it in the case.
I'm like, whoa, like, holy shit, that's so cool. And then it was like 2 days later, we made a trip down to the same shop to like maybe find a game or something for that Game Boy. And Jordan stumbles on Pokemon Crystal.
Like, yeah, as I started getting a little interested in this, I found out how many other people are also interested in this right now. So
Is Pokemon popular?
It is popular.
Wow.
And all this vintage stuff is really popular. So Game Boys are hard to come across. All the Pokemon games are expensive and hard to come across.
The amount of people modding Game Boys is high.
It's really high. It's really cool though.
Yeah, I didn't think it was like going to be have that big of a following. But when we went to Comic-Con this last weekend, we saw that like even devoted vintage game shops had custom Game Boy Advances that were like $350.
Yeah.
What is the mod going on here? Is it aesthetic or is there some hardware upgrades?
It's all of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brand new screen. So it has this called the ISP, whatever. So it's OLED screen, super high quality, and then the Game Boy Advance before the SP wasn't even backlit. So like,
Ooh, okay.
It was brutal to play, dude.
So this is kind of like the fans taking this hardware that they love and just like updating it because like Nintendo discontinued the line, right?
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Yeah, and then so I've seen them with rechargeable batteries now, the USB-C chargeable batteries for these super old things, which I just get a kick out of. You could do all the crazy cases for aesthetic. You can do clear cases. You can put LEDs into that if you want to go nuts.
You know what I love? I love a clearish case, like that purple tinted one.
That
And then
OG
inside,
is
all the wires are different neon colors.
Yeah, that is my favorite.
Yeah, and it's wild to see some of these modders who are like, I saw it was my first time ever I saw it, but it was someone who cut a 3DS in half, or a DS Lite in half, just took the top screen completely off and left the Game Boy slot available. So they're like, hey, you can't get a Game Boy because they're super fucking popular right now. Well, we actually butchered a couple DS Lites so that you can have a Game Boy. And I was like, whoa, how much you want for that? And they're like, it's $70. And I was just like, that ain't a bad
That's actually
deal.
not bad.
That's not a bad deal at all.
Yeah.
So
It's been a fun, weird journey. And then now we're just kind of checking out these Pink Gorilla shops regularly and trying to find some other ones.
Pink Gorilla's a chain here in Seattle. Is it like in other cities?
No,
Do
it's
people
just-
know what
it's
we're
a-
talking about? Or
No, this is a local chain, but there's tons of places. There's tons of places
Okay.
that are selling vintage games, and talk to them they're like, we get Pokemon stuff in and it's gone same day, hours, and then people buy it immediately. Like same with Game Boys and like Game Cubes, all that shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're not like on shrooms or anything chasing pink gorillas through the street
It's just-
trying to find Pokemon games.
It's so funny you say that because like I know nothing about Pokemon. I'm like slightly.
Oh,
older.
you're like,
Yeah, is there a pink gorilla in that game?
Yeah. And just like I did go to see the live action Detective Pikachu movie, but I got so high before, and then also knowing nothing about Pokemon, and then also that movie being wild on its own terms. It was an experience.
how did you like it as a person that doesn't know anything about Pokemon? Because I haven't even seen the movie.
I like Rita Ora. She was in that, right?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking
Or
about.
it's Rita Ora or Charlie XCX is like
Oh,
the female
okay.
love interest.
I see.
Okay.
Yeah. No. It was I was losing my mind in a good way. I loved it. Had a great time.
I would do mushrooms and go watch that movie.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll do like a 10-year anniversary of Detective Pikachu.
And maybe like
great.
Ludicolo would scare the shit out of me because I
Oh.
saw it in the trailer and I'm like, oh shit.
Honestly, if Pokemon were real in any sense, it would terrify the shit out
Right?
of all of
Like
us.
the Ludicolo behind the bar. And I was like, that's a fucking demon.
Yeah. Imagine Coyote Ugly, but with Ludicolo's on the bar.
What's a Ludicolo?
Okay, so Ludicolo is like this
Oh, fair enough.
duck.
Yeah, no, that was a real question.
No, that's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
So Ludicolo is this like dancing duck-billed cactus creature with a sombrero.
With a sombrero.
Oh, like a cactar from Final Fantasy. Kind of.
Well, with a duck bill and
Oh,
huge
yeah.
eyes,
He's always dancing.
and he's
Okay.
he's very very heavy set. He's a large Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
But he wears a sombrero and he's known for dancing constantly. So I was just imagining in my brain if Pokemon were real, a Coyote Ugly bar.
So Pokemon can do that shit, but J.K. Rowling is canceled. All right.
Oh God, get out of here.
Wow. Are we canceling Evan live right now?
Wow.
Yeah. Here we go. What would you rather have me say?
I feel like he was in that movie. He was like the bartender. I saw the trailer in it.
Okay.
But
Fair enough.
You were
Again-
getting high. And
Yeah, the situation.
yeah, fair enough. I'm not asking you to recall that movie.
It's honestly, it was shocking how good it was. How good that movie was. I loved it. Like even just through the end, it was just kind of crazy. and
Guys,
wacky
Team
all the way
Trip?
through.
Team Trip?
Team.
Oh,
Literally.
to watch the movie?
Like, yeah, like, literally. Should
Yeah,
we take
let's
some
do it.
mushrooms and
I'm
go
in.
watch this
I'm
movie?
in.
Oh,
Let's
Team
go.
Trip. Love it.
Team Trip?
All right. Yeah. Vintage gaming though. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's been pretty sick, and I'm not gonna lie, I do want to kind of get into this modding world, like a little bit. At least I've seen you can buy the cases. The coolest one I've seen is you can get a CNC aluminum like milled case for your SP, and you pretty much take all the parts out and then you put it into it, and it actually has like more of an original like Game Boy shape, but a really nice high quality anodized aluminum, so you get to pick your color. And they do the same thing, like really nice milled buttons and stuff. So you get a really nice remake, and it also fits a slightly larger version of those like backlit high quality screens. And you can fit in like a large rechargeable battery, like twice the size of the OG battery. So I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff I've been seeing
Very
people do, and I'm definitely not going to rip apart the special edition one I got. So now, unfortunately, I have to go buy another fucking SP so that I can rip that one apart.
$90 late.
Exactly. So that's down the line, but no, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. If you are listening to this if you're still tuned into this episode,
where we're talking about Magic the Gathering.
yeah, we're
This
talking
is-
about Magic.
And stickers and Pokemon.
Yeah,
The stickers
yeah.
are usually Magic
Jesus.
related.
If you are listening to this and you have any of these like games laying around, here's the crazy thing: is that they're worth a fuck ton. Like,
Sell them for Magic cards. There's the transition.
There you go. Well, no, I was honestly shocked, but I realized that like with the popularity of this like hobby of like coming back around, people wanting to like dig into their childhoods a little deeper, is I went out and I bought a DS, and then I turned around and they're like, "Oh, we have a copy of Pokemon Platinum," and I was like, "Well, how much is that?" And they're like, "It's $130," and I was like, "Yeah, just give it to me, just pass it over. I guess I'm just doing it because if I blink, that thing will be gone." You know, it's like that's how hot these items are.
Yeah, we've been playing the game for like the last 3 weeks. You've seen how fast everything is. So it's like I didn't buy a few games and I went back and they were all gone.
I can't even begin to tell you how hard it is to find Pokemon Black. It is like not that old of a game, and it's not even that highly sought after. I just can't find it. So yeah, if you're sitting on any like Pokemon Yellow or anything like that, go see what they're worth at your vintage game shop. I'm sure there's one near you if you're in a metropolitan area.
Well, Kyle,
around.
honorary MoxStar, who was just on the podcast, we just had this conversation with him. He just was like, "Oh yeah, I have all of those. I've never gotten rid of any game I've ever had from childhood." I'm like, Kyle, you're sitting on like $1,000 right now.
Yeah,
Go buy Magic cards.
jeez. And our seamless transition into a Magic the Gathering topic. What are we talking about, Ritter?
We're talking about Universes Beyond.
This is something you're actually pretty excited about.
In
More
some aspects of
in
it.
some aspects, more than I had expected. So, what are you hyped it on?
Yeah, what is impending?
So Wizards announced the upcoming Universes Beyond set, which is going to be modern legal, I believe, is Lord of the Rings, which is just like a sweet IP. I love that IP. I don't know if
sick.
you guys are Lord of the Rings heads.
Oh yeah,
Huge fan.
Okay, and I'm psyched for it. Like typically I don't go for this stuff, but I bought so many of these collector's bundles. I'm buying all the commander decks.
Anybody who has listened to a few episodes is also going to be slightly surprised by your stance on this.
Yeah, this is not my usual stance in regards to any Magic product.
right.
I full on just want to build my own battle decks for this, and it's wild. I just love it. It's just like such a synergistic marriage of IP and the game. It fits really just within the mechanics and lore of the game. I think it's going to slot in there. I think there's going to be a lot of fun cards in there. I think there's going to be a lot of great art with it.
Totally. I've actually seen a few of the spoilers and even just some fan concept arts. It's really looking cool.
The booster box arts have been
Those are great.
they've been shown, and I really love the stylized artwork they've gone for, because it's almost like the direction at Wizards of the Coast said, "Hey, make this look and feel as if it were a J.R.R. Tolkien novel." So the lines are very thin. The artwork is very much like watercolor or oil painting.
And there's definitely some Ralph Bakshi, those old animated films from the 70s. I don't know if you guys have seen those. Some of that art styles in there as well.
Yes, yeah. That was when I was 9 years old, I broke my arm in half, and we were I was just laying around the house for 6 weeks, and my grandma sent me all of those movies on VHS.
Yep.
So I laid around and watched
Nice.
those for weeks.
Jordan, have you seen these?
No, I have not.
Oh, they're wild. So The Hobbit is fully fleshed out and animated. And then I think they made a Lord of the Rings one where the budget sort of wasn't really there to fully do it justice, but it's really interesting. The art style. Do you know what rotoscopy is? I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's where you draw over live action to produce an animation effect, and they do that for the Nazgul and a lot of the big battles and stuff.
Cool.
And it's very interesting if you're an animation nerd. The art style of that, and and then also Ralph Bakshi's a legend for animation.
Yeah,
Very cool.
It looks like very, very early animation, but it's done so well that it just really stands out as one of the better works from that from that era.
Yeah.
Sweet. I got to check that out.
Yeah,
Very
if
cool.
you like Lord of the Rings, they're worth checking out.
Word. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like your enthusiasm. It's actually making me a little more enthusiastic for some stuff like this.
Okay, because you're going to play these decks when I build this battle box.
I was going to actually specifically call that out. I'm excited by that idea. I really think a battle deck or a battle box for these decks is the best way to showcase them. And I really think that's a kind of a cool way to approach a lot of these things is like, how do they play with each other and how does that kind of story and that like art all play together instead of like, I know you like having, your decks be a very like universal or singular style rather.
Yeah, I was just saying earlier off mic that like I hate Ready Player One and I hate when things are just mashed thoughtlessly together.
And these crazy Magic decks where there's like all these different promo arts that are all different styles. You don't like that. And this is a very cool approach, where everything's going to be so similar and so unique in its own world. I think it's going to be very sweet.
Yeah, I think there's going to be more unique cards than even the Warhammer 40K.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. They're only reskinning like a few, like Soul Ring. They will, but it's not the one ring. It's like, but they are reskinning just a few cards, like Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, like staples that are absolutely necessary. Probably a few lands, if they decide to like put bond lands in there for the love of God.
Please.
Do we know when this comes out?
July.
Yeah,
July.
So middle of the summer. This is like their premier product. I feel like that this is their Hail Mary to say like if this product lands and we can bring in that new new player base, like we can expand off that and we can create new IPs, aka Universes Beyond, to expand our market in that way, keep our profits growing, because we all know the trajectory of the game is not right, like their current like structure of business is not going to have much longevity.
Correct. They need to find new revenue streams.
Right.
So, yeah, they're going to sell the shit out of this.
Yeah. I feel like this is just
100%.
going to fly.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'm interested in this. Like, I want to play this.
Yeah, they got me.
Yep. And
You got.
yeah, it's wild how they've taken these Magic sets and then they're able to tailor them to, because now Wizards of the Coast has rights to these certain things, they're tailoring them to like other products that they even do. So I wouldn't even be that surprised if they now structured this to be a D&D offshoot too, because they've done so many Magic sets as D&D like offshoots too. So it'd be pretty cool to see them like branch into that.
I'll do like D&D campaigns and different IPs.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh man, I'm in.
I mean,
Yeah,
that,
right.
It doesn't even
That'd be
exist,
sick.
and I pre-ordered it.
some small things do have, like they have done like a few side off things. They did like the Rick and Morty one and shit like that. And then like there's not Wizards of the Coast doing things like that as well. But having fully them in it, creating IPs or creating structure for new IPs, I think would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Like speaking of like the unique cards too that are like coming out for these sets, there have been a few that have been leaked already. Like there was just a really small leak a few days ago about like they leaked Gollum.
Unofficial leak.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
yeah.
It's someone who has the inside track.
yeah. What is the reliability of this?
They look pretty realistic.
Okay.
I don't. There've been like, I remember when Elishnorn and Mother of Machines was like first spoiled, like someone had created a fake card that had a way stronger effect than it currently
Yeah,
does
we're all
now.
like, nah.
But this was one where everything seemed like very real. Like it was like Gollum was like a 1 mana legendary creature that basically had a very similar effect to Ragavan, but worse. Where whenever it attacks, you exile the top card of your library and you may cast it this turn. Right. So, and then there was like Aragorn and Eowyn as like legendary couple there, and I can't remember what the last one was actually. So just a couple cards just that are mechanically unique to the set that we're already starting to see like slip through the cracks a little bit.
Yeah. So the thing there is, I saw the same preview.
Yeah.
Or the same leak, and if those are real cards, that gives a hint at what the power level of this set is going to be, because people are speculating that it takes the place in the release cycle that like Modern Horizons 3 or a set like that would take. There's a significant number of cards that are new in the card pool. So what is the power level going to be versus say like Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, which didn't really have a lot of value there, didn't have a lot of power there.
There wasn't any balance to that set.
Yeah.
either.
It's interesting that you say that, because I was actually just going to say that the one thing that gets me excited about these new IPs that they have to create new mechanics for is they explore a lot on mechanics and they end up kind of coming up with new things. And
initiative was not a mistake, right? For any Eternal.
Oh, 100%.
Oh man, low blow right now. So I'm excited as a CDH player because I care a little less about like flavor per se in that world. For maybe some new things to actually become viable, some new like cool weird mechanic that for some reason just breaks something, and now we get some cool cards. Whether they go into the 99 and actually shake up a few decks in the format, or just actually, I'm hoping like new legendaries, like, and then you get to play like, I don't know, Aragorn's fucking busted or something like that. You know,
to me, it feels bad, and there's no basis for this. I admit that there's nothing. This is just my own prejudices. It feels bad to play against like a Walking Dead commander, but like, I'll play against Aragorn. That feels good to me. Like,
see,
you know what I mean?
I think you're gonna have a lot of that. It's just, people are gonna take it and leave it sometimes. But yeah, for like, I like when they do this mechanically unique stuff. Like for the Street Fighter stuff, I don't think there's anything particularly broken, but they did a lot of exploration and some really fun mechanic design.
Everything felt like it had flavor.
For sure. And honestly, more often than not, that's just what kind of leaves me wanting these days in new Magic sets is actual mechanical flavor.
Well, we talked about it in our set review, like of Phyrexia All-We-One. Bro, the design was boring.
It's just boring. Like we drafted it and I'm just moving on. It's fine. But I want to see what they do with that. And so like that's my kind of my caveat is I'm not a huge fan of all the other IPs coming in and the more storm of products that we're going to be getting, but I want to see them be challenged to push out more interesting cards. There it is.
Yeah. I feel like when they're responsible for, like embodying a certain IP like Street Fighter, they did such a good job at like hitting the flavor on point, like Chun-Li's multi-kicker, boom, like
I'll take a loss of power for flavor for that. Like that's great.
And then
I've seen Dulcim as a playable card.
Dulcim
with reach, being able to draw a card off that. It's like
we just saw Rachel Weeks do that freaking what's his name?
Oh, the green monster.
Street Fighter people are hating us right now.
Yeah, sorry, Street Fighter people.
Green monster guy, everybody knows him. Orange hair.
Green and red. He does the shocking thing.
Anyway,
Wow, this is really embarrassing.
This is actually really bad.
Oh,
just
God.
watch this.
Just keep stalling until I
and
can
I'm
pull
just
it up
gonna
on my
say how
phone.
astonishing is that
Blanca.
You knew the whole time. You just watching us suffer.
I was trying to think of it.
Yeah. Okay. So Rachel Weeks made a really great deck of that, and it was very.
It popped off.
It popped off. It made me
100%.
want to build the deck.
Yeah, it looks pretty fun. I think it's probably the best one from this.
Yeah, I think green red's just my flavor entirely because that Blanca deck, it just like it screamed at everything I ever want to do in Magic.
You know what? But I feel like the flavor of Street Fighter is synergistic with the flavor of Magic. Like Street Fighter could take place on the streets of New Capenna. I guess, in terms of existing worlds.
I had always thought, like, when they did it, when they announced it, I was like, how are they going to tie these two things together? It makes me confident that they ever did a Mortal Kombat. Ooh. Like, I would, I'd have confidence in saying that, like, they would be able to make that happen. So, with the Lord of the Rings having such responsibility to appease, very devoted fans. If anyone's going to buy this, it's going to be the most devoted fans of Lord of the Rings. When these spoilers start coming out, you're going to see probably the most like faithful and like creatively unique cards just to like embody the world of Lord of the Rings.
I just wonder what the markets are going to look like on this. Like if it's truly a powerful set where it's more of a modern, but it's going to be standard legal set, is it not?
I think it's printed into modern, not into standard.
Okay, copy that. Okay. But so, it even encourages them and gives them the flexibility to make more powerful cards. So with that, plus the hype behind it, I'm just worried how expensive it's going to be. I hope they print a lot of it.
I mean, if you look at the pre-order prices, I don't know about, because we don't know individual cards, but for like boxes and stuff, like the collector's booster box is like close to 400, I think.
Oh, I think,
Yeah, it's super expensive.
Yeah, the more time that goes by, the higher that's going to go.
Yeah, I'm
it's a premium product for sure. That's how they're selling it.
I would fuck with getting some of maybe the commanders after I see what those look like.
Good news, buddy. I bought all 4 commanders.
You already signed up?
Sight unseen.
Let's go.
Well, okay, so you said that you're also getting these surveys for University.
Yeah. Buried the lead, I guess. I received a survey from Wizards of the Coast, just like, hey, take a quick 20-minute survey about your experiences with the product. And a lot, I would say what the survey was getting at was trying to elicit, hey, what IP does our fan base like? What universes beyond products do they want us to release with these IP? And for these products, like how frequently do you want us releasing sets that are universes beyond specific things? Like that was the gist of it. That's what they want to know. And they were just like trolling for information like, hey, what do the fans want? How often can we sell you this stuff? Instead of just once a year plus secret layers, can we do this set? Can we do something like this quarterly? And can we give you like My Little Pony followed by G.I. Joe, followed by Fast and Furious? I don't know.
SpongeBob.
Followed by SpongeBob. You know what I mean? They asked like, hey, what 3 IPs do you want to see as universes beyond sets? Or like,
I'll just ask you outright, which ones would you like to
Yeah.
see? Interesting.
So-
What did you put in?
for all 3 responses, I replied Tar. Have you seen that film? No. Starring Kate Blanchett. It is not synergistic with the product. but
Jesus.
I do love the film sincerely.
Oh my
it's a great
God.
film.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So more of this is coming. Like
For sure.
For sure.
It's on their mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they know they're going to make bank with Lord of the Rings.
I think I keep my ear to the ground more to Mark Rosewater's blog than I care to admit. But like whenever something comes up on Reddit where like he had just answered a question or asked a question, it always pops up there, and he's always asking about certain IPs, which is just telling the community, hey, this is coming. Like, how would you feel about how would you feel about a Tar? Or like
I would love it. I would buy the shit out of that too.
Secret Lair, like set completely devoted to it or whatever. Like that is not a question to gauge the crowd and like, wow, would you like this or not? It's like, hey, this is coming.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not hypothetical.
right. How much more marketing do we have to do to get you interested in this is pretty much the question.
Yeah.
And for like premium versions, like look at the Transformers that were in the Brothers War stuff, like that shattered glass feature. Holy crap, dude. Those are super fucking expensive.
Did you see
Yeah.
those, Ritter?
I have not seen one in person.
They're like masterpiece prices.
It's literally because they're impossible to find. So like the foils, the non-foils, still pretty expensive, but like, Jesus, the Megatron foil, like the shattered glass one, is $800. It's insane.
Does Slicer have a special treatment? He's the one that actually gets real competitive play.
the red one.
Yeah.
Or Jordan brought this up. I had no idea that was actually seeing competitive.
Yeah, we should
play.
do-
Oh,
would
for
you-
real. Like if you look on Reddit, people are talking about him.
It's pretty freaking sweet, dude.
Yeah.
We should do maybe a little episode just discussing it because I think it's really interesting.
You got to check this deck out.
I really
Fun.
do love like anti-meta CDH decks.
Also, goad is the core mechanic there.
Yep.
So-
That's my wheelhouse, baby.
Yas.
When Jordan mentioned it, I went and I looked it up and I was like, really? Like what Universe is Beyond card? Like that? And
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then he's like, it just forces pressure on each, like your opponents are pressuring each other's life totals, themselves. So yeah, I thought it was mechanically unique and actually really cool. It's like one of those things that's like very creative that plays really well into the game. So
It does. I don't know. Like Transformers is sort of on the edge of like an IP that it feels like meshes with the game. But it happened. I accept
Yeah.
it.
But then you have like, Rick Steadfast Leader being like a $40 card. And for me, that world does not mesh.
no,
Does not mesh well. Like the Lord of the Rings, I think it's an easy sell. It's a high fantasy world.
Yeah.
Notice-
like orcs and elves everywhere.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
we know how zombies work in the MTG universe.
like
Right.
notice how the general reaction to The Walking Dead like Secret Lair was. It was negative. Like rewind to back when like in 2020, nobody wanted to touch it because the taste was so sour.
Everybody
in
was
my mouth.
saying, I don't want to see it at my table.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want
exactly.
to play with that kind of stuff.
But the instant you start bringing IPs that make sense in the realm of Magic and within its universe, you just immediately go, yeah, okay, I'll play that. Fighter, that worked.
That's why this whole like Maro's like opt out kind of mentality that he keeps saying, it's just like not feasible. It's just like you're going to like shit out a ton of different IPs. Some people are going to love it. Like Ritter's going to love Lord of the Rings, but then like there's going to be a SpongeBob one and people are going to be fucking pissed about that. And like, you know, you can't just have opt out because you're not going to be able to opt out all the time.
Yeah, especially if you play a lot of draft or pre-release or EDH or anything, like you're mixing with other people. So you're going to be forced to play against Slicer, even if like you don't feel like the Transformers fit with you. You know, you can't opt out of that, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna tie together a few different points of conversation that we've had over the past few episodes. But like when you are playing the Walking Dead stuff, like you don't like it because it doesn't make you feel like you're playing Magic. It immediately breaks the immersion. That is like part of the reason like we have product fatigue. It feels like when I put 4 different types of foils in a single deck, I don't feel like I'm playing Magic anymore. I feel like I'm playing 4 different card games. Mm-hmm. Like the immersion of how you play the game is almost like one of the most important parts of playing the game.
Yeah, if you wanted to play a Walking Dead card game, I think one does exist. Like there's other similar things if you wanted to be immersed in that world, you know?
Right.
Totally.
So can you imagine like the Transformer stuff? It just breaks the immersion just like enough for me to like turn my head when I see it, but I know it's part of the game, so I'm willing to play against it. But what kind of artwork do you have to put on a SpongeBob card in order for it to fit within the universe? Like to fit within like how much does that break the immersion? Like that's what they're doing with Secret Lairs. That's why they're so divisive, I think, is because you can sit across from a Craterhoof behemoth drawn by a toddler. Right. You know, like
or even you and I just made a real life trade before this, and I had that Beast Within Secret Lair pulled, and I ultimately decided to not make it part of the trade because I was just like, you know what, I feel like that art doesn't fit, so it breaks immersion for me a little bit.
Right.
That in the deck.
I do like when they take the leap on those arts, like again, those cereal box ones I think are awesome, but there is the other side of it where I think it's almost better as a collector piece.
Yeah,
and it does break maybe the immersion. Sometimes it's cool to just have a deck full of fancy shit, but totally, I can totally see, you know, the Atali cereal box breaking immersion in the game when it all used to have very like
it used to be very immersive.
Everybody had a very similar style and stuff, you know.
All these showcase foils, like I get where you might want to build a themed deck. Like I'm glad they made Kroxa into like the Kaldheim like foil, like with the Titans and everything like that. Now build an entire deck with that immersion. Like your commander is Kroxa, build the entire deck with that showcase foil. I challenge you, it's not going to be a very good fucking deck. Like I don't want to play trash. I don't want to play garbage. So I wonder where it got off track to where like we wanted to see premium things. We wanted to see borderless foils. I didn't think that borderless foils were something, or borderless cards in general was something that was going to bring us to this point. Like I really thought that was the wave of the future. I thought all cards were going to be borderless at some point.
No, man. Like if they can sell you a little bit of something, they're going to figure out every way to sell you that thing.
And for me, I think when they figured out the whole borderless foil thing, because I was there kind of for that inception, I think that was like their first thing of like, oh, we can really start pushing this.
I got a whale on the hook.
Yeah, and like here comes the retro border foils, and everybody freaking came in their pants on that one.
These people are not our friends. They're not looking out for us. They're
our drug dealers.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so
there are drug dealers.
Now, when it comes to Universes Beyond product, like the Lord of the Rings stuff, is it printed with the standard Magic border? I think that's what was successful with the Street Fighter stuff, is that the artworks were very in line with what we expect to see on a Magic card, and the borders were just like that of a standard Magic card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's very easy. Like all the abilities made sense. The whole text was written out, very flavorful. So how, like, in moving forward with Universe Beyond product, how do they continue to keep us immersed with all these different IPs that have a general aura of not Magic together?
I mean, I feel like they just need to be judicious in what they choose, because, like, you know, Lord of the Rings works because, you know, Magic is stole so much from Dungeons and Dragons, and Dungeons and Dragons stole so much from Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings is also just sort of generally like an text for like fantasy and that sort of thing. And so, Neil Stephenson, The Wheel of Time, you can do a Universes Beyond with that works.
Yeah.
Like you can do all that sort of stuff, like, and that naturally fits, but that's not necessarily what they're going to do. What they're going to do is they're going to push the limits of it and be like, hey, you guys also like, I'm not going to shit on SpongeBob because listen, he's a real one, I'm not going to do it.
He's a real
But then
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I could see, like, look at 4 commander decks, 4 different turtles, 4 different colors.
You know what? I would kind of love that too.
Jesus, that's you're a genius.
Yeah.
Freaking got
Get him on the marketing team.
Can you guys shut up? We got to make this money ourselves.
Hire me.
Yeah, we got to.
I'll shill.
Yeah, we'll bootleg our own Universes Beyond product going forward. But you know what I mean? They're gonna just be like Fortnite and Stranger Things, and the things that are most popular in the culture that has the most number of people willing to spend money to get things associated with that. That's what they're going to choose, whether or not it meshes with Magic the Gathering's core philosophy and does not break immersion. Because fuck you for having those restrictions on it. They're trying to make money, buddy.
They
know?
don't give a fuck now.
Nope.
I want to see what a hand looks like in 3 years.
Oh yeah. I mean, I thought it was the most beautiful thing in the world to pick up a clutch of foils. Like if they all look right, and then what does it look like? Yeah, in 3 years with all this product that's gonna be hitting the shelves.
I know we're headed for the Ready Player One future. I'm just not happy about it.
Right.
Yeah. All of us old heads with wanting to remembering the fond days when Magic, was at its peak for us, like the golden days. We just have to find new value. We have to find the silver lining here.
Yeah.
So I think,
100%.
we're going to continue playing the game.
Yeah.
100%, because I want to see cool, unique strategies.
Yeah, we're kind of talking about dipping our toe back into CDH, kind of getting some new decks in rotation.
Elish Norn really reinvigorated my passion to make Zakama work. So
Hey man, you're welcome.
hey, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Should we go play the game?
It's a Magic Day, baby.
Turn some cardboard sideways.
Do it.
All right, y'all. It's been real.
Deuces.
Thank you guys for listening to MoxStars podcast. Check our links below.
Like, subscribe.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.